Y'all, life is hard, eh? It has been a rough one for a lot of us for me, for the last couple years. And it seems like a lot of people I know have been really going through it. And so I've been grappling with how we show up when we're failing, when we're losing, when our lives and our plans are not going the way that we hope. And in a culture that is so focused on winning and victory and performing and achieving, it's hard to know where to stand and how to maintain a sense of self-worth when things are not going the way that we hope and lining up with how we think we should be and how we think our lives should be. I was at Insight LA last night, a meditation center, and Jack Kornfield spoke, and I was lucky enough to speak with him directly and get some feedback and advice from him. And I asked him, how do we reconcile this kind of meditative, mindful Buddhist approach to releasing the ego with the very real need to exert agency and make choices and figure out what the hell to do in any given moment. And he invited me into a process and he really, what I took from what he said was mindfulness and being in relation to one's ego is not about passivity. It's actually an orientation and a process and a way of being rather than it doesn't, the point was, it sort of doesn't matter what we do. It's actually the way we approach our mental states, our emotions, our actions, our choices. That's what mindful awareness is. And so I've been thinking a lot about how do we stand in relation to our pain, to our failure, to our shortcomings, to our losses, rather than identifying with them. So how do we create an observational distance between the content, the events, the circumstances of our lives, the feelings we have, the thoughts we have? How do we stand in relation to them? How do we understand that these things, none of these things that we think we are actually who we are? We are actually the space in which they're occurring. And I think about kind of the Hindu conception of life and the divine and God as kind of a divine theater or a game of hide and seek. And I think the spiritual journey in so many ways is about unmasking our essential selves and ceasing to mistake ourselves for our egos, for the characters in the play. So, I right now going through a lot of pain, a lot of loss, a lot of trauma, a lot of failures. It's been so hard for me to not to identify with that, in the same way that it's challenging for me not to identify with the wins and victories and things that I've accomplished in my life that I also see as who I am. But that kind of dualism it seems to just set us up for these cycles of pain. And so learning how we can actually recognize that we are just the witness of our own lives. We are not the authors of our thoughts. We are not the authors of our emotions. We are not the authors of our circumstances. We're actually the witness watching this character in the play that is our small self, our ego, our bodies, our minds, our emotions, but we're actually the space in which all of those things are occurring. And when I can touch into that space beneath the drama, beneath the waves, there is relief, and there is at times and in moments a capacity to touch something that feels eternal, something that even within and beneath all of the tragedy, there's almost a poetry in it when we can touch into this other state of being. There's just so many ways to think about this idea of God, of collective consciousness, of no self, of non-dual existence, of just this kind of primal awareness beneath and beyond all things and within all of us. So that's what I've been contemplating, and just invite others who are kind of pondering similar things to shoot a message in the comment, shoot a question, shoot your own observations and lessons in this journey. And I'd like to offer an AMA, an Ask Me Anything session. So if you're interested in that, type yes in the comments, and I can maybe start to organize and send out a Zoom link privately. And my company offers therapy with, really wonderful, experienced, highly vetted people to help you walk through these concerns and challenges. And I also offer a personalized experiential learning program and curriculum for overcoming anxiety, with a ton of research-based modalities to help us reconnect with our intuition, our higher purpose, overcome self-doubt, and integrate kind of all of the different parts of ourselves and the disowned parts of ourselves. So those are a few offerings that I'm trying to extend for those grappling with similar issues with the tools I've learned over the last 20 years of working on my own personal psychological and spiritual journey, as well as walking others through that journey. So thanks for listening. If you still are, this is a long one, and look forward to connecting.